Hey, Ollie here with Free Your Zen, talking to you from South Yarra, the South Yarra River in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Talking to you today about a few things I learned, a few important life lessons I learned whilst living in London for a year. Now I'm going to split this video into two parts, because if I did it all in one video, you would lose attention and would be here all day. So if you want to hear the first 5, then carry on watching this video. Let's crack on. So, before moving to Australia, I lived in London for a year. I lived in the great capital of England for a year, learned a lot of things about myself, learned a lot of things about life in general while I was there, and I want to share them with you because they're super important. And in total, I've made a big list of this, and I wrote a lot in my diary about this as well. I think I made a total of about 11 points. Yeah, literally 11. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through 5 or 6 in this video, then I'm going to make another video about the extra 5. Okay, so I'm going to blow through them quite quickly so I don't lose you. Yeah. So number 1, being alone and lonely are two very different states. One is desirable, one is beautiful, really. Spent a lot of time alone in London. Initially, for the first 3 months, I was very, very lonely. However, after a time, a few things clicked. A few parts of myself I accepted, and no longer was I lonely, I was alone. So being alone and lonely are two radically different states, one enriching, one a little bit more, dark. 2, most people you encounter in your day-to-day existence are running on autopilot. That means they're running on habitual patterns of behavior. They're running on habitual judgments, habitual comparisons. They're running their entire operating system as a human being seems to be being governed from patterns, habits, So realizing this in London was key for me to accept people as they are rather than as I think they should be, because it's as Jesus. Going to quote a bit of Jesus right now. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. People may piss you off, but they may not know why they are doing this. They may not even be fully aware of the effect that they are having or why they are behaving this way. So when you know that, you can accept them and their behavior just a little bit more, So people are running mostly on autopilot. That was 2. Number 3 is what society says will make us happy won't. Now, in my time in London, I encountered and had some wonderful conversations and connections with a lot of people who had achieved great amounts of material wealth. Now, myself, I've never achieved material wealth on that mad scale, and I probably never will either. So I can't tell you from personal experience. However, the only knowledge I can give you on this, the only thing I can provide you with, advice or wisdom-wise, I may have an ant on my head. I'm going to brush it and hope for the best. Off it goes. The only thing I can offer you in terms of wisdom is conversations that I've had with people. Now, I spoke to quite a lot of people who had a lot of stuff. Money, cars, house, the whole shaboodle, and they still came to me with the same problems that a lot of young people come to me with as well. Things about themselves they don't like, etc., etc., etc. So society says if you look like this, you'll be happy. If you have these things, you'll be happy. If you buy this, if you buy that, if you achieve this, you'll be happy. And I'm not seeing any evidence of that anywhere. I've spoke to people, I've spoke to adolescents about their mental health and emotional health. I spoke to young adults. I spoke to people of all ages and demographics, and it seems that the same things that we're searching for, ultimately some sort of meaning, some sort of fulfillment, are not achieved through material means alone, which is what society seems to have its focus on. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4, stress kills. There are 2 types of stress, really. I like to put them in these 2 categories to make it simple. You've got acute stress, which is useful for getting out of danger, which is your friend, and you have chronic stress, which is usually stress that is created from mental patterns, belief systems, that sort of thing. And that kind of chronic stress, that background static of stress that that exists throughout your life, is the thing that will shorten your life and ultimately kill you early. Okay, so you have people that go to the gym, they're super healthy, they live like monks, etc., but inside they don't like themselves and they're stressed all the time. I would argue they are not healthy people at all, because stress kills. And from my interactions with people in London, people are stressed as hell in that city by and large. Go on public transport, go on the tube, you'll understand my point. Number 5, this is the last one of the video, if I don't give you an extra bonus one at the end. Your vulnerabilities are crucial for real human connection. Now, I say this from personal experience. When I tried to connect with people, when I tried to meet people, and I had my walls really high, and I was putting forth an image of perfection, of total self-actualization, of I don't suffer depression, I don't suffer loneliness, I don't suffer any of that stuff. I never really connected with people because I wasn't letting anybody in. The phase of my life when I made a little transition and I started approaching my vulnerabilities with acceptance and let my walls down and let people see me for who I really was, which is a flawed individual, then people were connecting on a deeper level with me, and I was able to enjoy those connections on a deeper level also. So your vulnerabilities, Brene Brown, author Brene Brown, in her book The Power of Vulnerability, says in her book, usually the walls we build up, you know, as an image to the world to try and get love and acceptance is usually actually the obstacle that prevents us from getting love and acceptance and belonging. So when you lower these barriers, embrace your vulnerabilities, show them to people, people respond because you are real and because they can connect with something real within you also. Love is recognizing yourself in another, and people can't do that if your walls are so high that they can't see you, you know? And that's what I learned. Okay, so just a quick bonus one actually. This will be number 6, and I can make an extra 5 in the future video. Number 6, simplicity is golden. London is a city that is constantly on the move, constantly reaching ever higher levels of complexity, life complexity, technological complexity, societal complexity, cultural complexity, and it's a city that by and large doesn't really recognize the simple pleasures for what they really are. And one thing I learned while being there was that living a simple life and embracing and enjoying and fully, you know, realizing the simpler aspects of our life in their entirety in our lives is the way to go, for me personally, and I would argue for a lot of people as well. So that was a video, We did 6 points, 6 things, 6 life lessons I learnt while living in London. They come straight from the heart, as I'm sure you can tell. Take care of yourselves, guys. If you like that video, like, dislike, click dislike, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe right now, let's get some subscribers on the go. Let's build the tribe, god damn it. And yeah, quick travel update. I am probably going to go fruit picking in Tasmania. The apple season starts at the start of March, and I think in a couple of weeks I'm going to fly myself over to Tasmania, South Tasmania, and work on an apple picking farm for a while. I'm going to see how it goes. 6 hours a day, it's going to be hard work, but you know, I'm going to give it the old Zen approach and do it nice and steadily and stuff, and I'm not trying to earn shitloads of money anyway. It's just for the experience really. So that's the travel update. Once again, guys, take care of yourselves. Peace, presence, inner power, and as always, joy, happiness, love, connection, and peace, baby. I already said peace though. Bye-bye.